Good morning, everybody. My name is Deborah Byrne from Deborah Byrne Psychology Services, known across social media as DBpsychology. I'm going to try this again, and if it works, great. If not, I will record a video and I'll post it up as quick as possible this morning. So this morning I'm going to talk about cerebral palsy, and the reason I do these blogs is for information. I remember when my own children were diagnosed with disabilities, how how I felt like I was just thrown into the deep end of a swimming pool. I had no information, I didn't know what it was, and I felt like I was drowning. And nobody was giving me, no professional was giving me any information. So that's why I want to do this. I do these blogs so the parents can have information, somewhere to go and get some basic starter information. And it really is only when your child is diagnosed with a disability, you do need to go into a bit more depth than what I'm going to do this morning and what's contained in the blog. So I'll get going. And cerebral palsy is a disability that affects movement, muscle tone, and posture. It usually caused by multiple things, so I will go into the causes a little bit later on. And I have outlined in the blog that there are 4 different types and there are 5 different levels of severity. And I don't want to get too technical this morning because there is an awful lot of points to be made. So just go and check out the blog. I do list them down, all the types and the different levels of severity. And the one thing I really do want to emphasize this morning for parents or for anybody with a child with a disability is look for the positive. Always, always, always. If you can look for the positive, I felt as a parent that helped me, and it certainly helped my children. When you only see the negative and see what they can't do, then that's not good. It's not good for you. You're usually at that point getting caught up in guilt, and it doesn't help the kids. So I'm going to keep going. The symptoms with cerebral palsy usually develop within the first 3 years. So it may take a little time for, you to realize there's something wrong. And sometimes it takes a little while for the GP then to come on board and for the specialist team to be brought in. And that's what you need when you need a diagnosis. You need a specialist team on board to do a full diagnosis. And sometimes too, with cerebral palsy, there can be other conditions such as autism or ADHD, and they're trying to pull it all apart so that they can give you a definitive answer. So they may be trying to diagnose a few different conditions. There could be blindness, there could be deafness as well. These are other conditions that can and sometimes do happen with cerebral palsy. So, they could be trying to diagnose a few different conditions. So you really do need a specialist team. The other problems, and the ones that I kind of want to emphasize this morning, is with the child as the child gets older, and with even with you as a parent, and as the child develops into teens and into adulthood, there are 2 other conditions that can happen, and that is depression, and not surprisingly, and you have this condition and you can feel weighed down by it, and you as a parent can feel weighed down by it, and you can feel very guilty. And yes, it can be natural for you to develop depression as a result. The child can develop depression into teen years and into adulthood. That's very common, as is social isolation. And you can see there, that would be a link to the depression, because you're getting socially isolated. And so therefore, of course, you're going to get depressed. So there's a few other things. I'm going to talk about that towards the end. Now, in terms of causes, there are many causes. I list them out. Some of them are to do with genetics. Some of them are to do with difficulties during pregnancy. Mum might have gotten an infection. The child could get an infection as an infant and develop cerebral palsy. It can be a lack of oxygen to the brain. Sometimes that's during delivery. There can be, problems with the birth or delivery, and this can cause it. There could be a head injury. Mum could have been causing a car accident. There is all sorts of causes that might cause cerebral palsy in a child. So, it's a huge range. So I've listed them, as many of them that we know of, out. So do have a look at that. The diagnosis, as I said, if as a parent, particularly mums, okay, particularly your mum, trust your gut instinct. And if you think at any stage there is something wrong, talk to your GP, talk to your health visitor. Never wait. Never ever wait. Always trust. And if somebody's putting you off, no. If it's just because they're a professional doesn't mean they get the right to poo-poo you and say, you haven't got a clue, so therefore we know better because we're professionals. No. You are, particularly mum, if you know and you feel, in your gut instinct that something isn't right, get a second opinion. Always push for it. Always get a second opinion. As I said, it can be difficult, particularly with a less severe case. It can be difficult to diagnose, so therefore it's going to take time. Be patient. It will take time. They'll have to rule out other conditions maybe. You have to wait and see. But you do need that specialist team. So you do need to go to your GP and get him or her to refer you on to get the specialists on board as quick as possible. Because the quicker you have a diagnosis, the quicker you can start doing interventions. Now the interventions would be things like physio, speech therapy, occupational therapy, sometimes medication, and sometimes surgery is needed. But the whole thing will be tailored to your individual child, and to your child's needs and what they need. And as you can see, if a child is going to physio, going to speech therapy or occupational therapy, there may be medication. You have a lot going on there. You really do. You have a lot going on, and you need support. And parents can then feel very, very guilty. As I said at the start, parents can feel very, very guilty. And that's not unusual. And it's not just to do with a child being diagnosed with cerebral palsy. Any parent whose child has been diagnosed with disability is going to feel guilty. And I have done a blog on this. Let's face it, if you're a parent, you're going to feel guilty. That is not unusual. It's not unusual to feel anxious. And as I said, don't be surprised if you develop depression as well. So reaching out and asking for help is very important. You need support systems in place. You need support systems in place as a parent at the start. And as your child gets older and as they go into adulthood and teen years and that, they also need support systems in place. And what I mean by that is you need to be joining a support group. So a support group even of other parents with disabilities. They don't have to all have the same disability. But, and the same for the teen. They need somebody who understands where they're coming from. They need somebody who understands and gets what's going on in their lives and what it's like to have a disability. So reaching out to groups like Cerebral Palsy Ireland have a Facebook group. Enable Ireland is another one. And Able Hour is a great hour for adults with disabilities, but also parents whose children have disabilities. It's a great support group. It's on Twitter, and it's on every Thursday night at 8 o'clock. Do come and join us. We have a great laugh, and it is a great support. And also, support groups can help you know your rights and entitlements. Hugely important. Knowing your child's rights and entitlements, knowing your rights and entitlements. You can feel supported there. You're less likely to feel isolated then. So therefore, you're going to help your mental health. And it is as much about helping your mental health as it is about helping your child with a disability, or if you have a disability, it's as much about helping, and getting support and getting the services that you need for your, the disability, the physical part of it, but also to get the support and to feel less socially isolated for your mental health. It is as much to do with that. And as I said, to look for the positives. What can my child do rather than what can my child not do? As I said, I always took that attitude. I made a deliberate, conscious decision to do that in the early days and to see what I could do to play to their advantage. And that paid off when they got to teen years and to adulthood. So something maybe to think about this morning is to look for the positive and to reach out and get support. And as I said, again, I'll repeat the support groups. Cerebral Palsy Ireland have a Facebook group. Enable Ireland are there. They're in Ireland.ie. And Able are on a Thursday night at 8 o'clock. It's Thursday, 8 p.m. GMT. Now, you don't have to be in Ireland just to join this group. You can be from anywhere in the world, more the merrier. It's hashtag Able Ireland, or Able Hour, sorry, gonna get in trouble now. Able Hour, 8 p.m. on a Thursday, and that is GMT time. So I will leave you there for this week, and new blog on Monday as usual, and I will see you all again next Saturday morning. And apologies for the start of the video. I hope this helps. Do check out the blog, www.DeborahByrnePsychologyServices.com, and there are a lot more detail. I can't go into every single piece of detail of the blog doing these Facebook Lives, but if you go and read the blog, you'll get much more detail. And if I can help, just ask me a question. I'll try and help. Good morning, and I'll see you all next Saturday. Bye.